Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Now, the Justice Secretary Liz Truss has admitted the problems in English jails won't be fixed in weeks or even months, as she made a statement in the Commons about the Birmingham prison riot. She insisted she was confident government reforms could turn things around. But there were more disturbances this weekend, allegedly involving inmates transferred after last week's unrest. Well, our Home Affairs correspondent Darshana Soni is in Birmingham now. Darshana, what's the latest?
Well, as the Justice Secretary made her statement today in the Commons, she was accused of losing her grip on jails and of ignoring previous warnings about staff shortages, levels of violence and the use of drugs here in Birmingham. Liz Truss said that there'll be an inquiry into what happened here on Friday. It started with 6 prisoners climbing onto some netting and ended with them being able to take control of 4 wings for some 12 hours. Now, wider questions were asked in the Commons about whether private companies should be able to profit from punishment, because G4S had to admit that for several hours it had lost control of the situation and it relied on the prison services teams to come in and calm things down. And the prison services teams were today praised for their handling of the situation. But Liz Truss was asked about what sanctions G4S would face, and this was her response.
And the perpetrators of this incident will feel the full force of the law, because the reality is that their actions have put both staff and prisoners at risk. He asked about G4S. They will be covering the cost of what has happened at HMP Birmingham, including the resources that have been employed by the public sector.
Well, the Minister talked about the problem of drugs, phones and drones in prisons, but what she didn't dwell on was the fundamental issue of overcrowding. Now, it's something that 3 of her predecessors tried to grapple with, but it's such a politically sensitive issue, the question of whether we should be sending fewer people to prison. And I've learned that in the past 2 months, HMP Birmingham was asked to take 50 prisoners from other jails across the country, despite being at full capacity themselves. And some of those 50 prisoners included men who were accused of rioting at Bedford Prison. And critics say that all that is happening is that the problem is being transferred from jail to jail. And we saw this weekend what happens in that situation when 15 prisoners transferred from Birmingham ended up in Hull and causing a disturbance there. Now, the government says it is investing more money, but as Liz Truss herself admitted, there are no easy or quick fixes.
Darshana Soni, it looks as if we've just lost you in time to avoid an exhibitionist.